Hey guys, this is Hans Oben with Salute Your Shorts Film Festival, and I'm here with the excellent Julie Reiters, creator of the ABCs of Things to Do While Stuck at Home. How's it going there, Julie?
I'm very well today. How are you?
I'm having a lovely day. I enjoyed your quirky and delightfully short film. What would you say is the theme of your film?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. This was such a fun project to work on. The real impetus here was really coming from a place of trying to find some positivity in the huge challenges that everyone faced this past spring and as we all continue to face with COVID. And the theme, although its relationship to COVID, I think, is very obvious and strong. I wanted to make sure that this could be evergreen content that anyone could appreciate staying home for whatever reason. So if that's a weather, or if you're sick or unable to go outside for any other reason, this is really just a celebration of there's lots of things to do at home. And I also wanted to make sure that the activities I talked about didn't rely on screen time necessarily, because I mean, we've all been there. We've gone down the Netflix wormhole, or we're on our phones for far longer than we'd like to be. And when it comes to kids and family, I just wanted to really celebrate simple things that anyone can do at home to lift your spirits or feel better, and just kind of appreciate what you have at your fingertips with simple things lying around, or just your own imagination.
Great, well, and it interests me to know how many of these activities that you detailed were things that you engaged in, how much of it was research-based, finding what other people are doing, or what did you do?
So I looked back on all the activities, and I think I have an almost perfect record with all the activities I suggested, minus act out a play and maybe knit a hat. I did try my hand at some embroidery this winter, which is actually quite fun. You can just order little kits online. So not quite knitting, but all of these things I in one form or another gave it a whirl.
Well, and did any of these activities become habitual things, or were they mostly all, I tried it once and I filled some time?
I think, I bet anyone who watches this will probably have their few that they lean heavily on. And then other ones might be a little bit more experimental. So I have been reading quite a lot this year. 2020 has been a big reading year for me. So that's, one that I've been leaning on, and cooking, the embroidery and things like that is a little bit more few and far between, as with invent something, this is very open-ended, and I want people to interpret this however they choose to. So for the letter O, when I say observe a tree outside your window, that's anything, meditative or introspective that you'd like to do. It doesn't have to be look at a tree, but if you, just appreciate the downtime and see what you maybe have overlooked at home that you can appreciate in a different way now that we're all at home so much.
For sure. Well, now you mentioned just now observatory, the language here. It interests me to hear about the creation of this poem, where it came from. Was that all you, or is there a team involved?
So this was all me. I wrote the script, and I did all the illustrations and design and animation editing. I did have wonderful, wonderful partners when it came to the voiceover and all of the sound design, but everything visual and written, that was a one-woman show. And some background on the poem. This actually was started as a children's book idea last year, and I was coming up with an ABC's book for kids that was going to highlight challenging vocabulary words, and I wanted to integrate each challenging word into some kind of rhyming poem or story to help kids remember it. Long story short, I got to the point of illustrating some of these. I had them all written out. I was trying to connect with editors and publishers who might be interested, lost a little bit of momentum and put it on the back burner, all the while having a hunch that I would probably rework this or repackage it somewhere down the line somehow. And lo and behold, when we were all kind of coming to terms with how serious the pandemic situation was, that's when the creative spark was kind of reignited. And I just took that same kind of structure I wanted to do with the ABC's book and was like, hey, I want to make an animation. I have plenty of time. I'm at home a lot. It would be fun to make something uplifting and find some silver linings here for everyone. So I'm glad that I had the structure and the idea kind of simmering for about a year. And then this was just the perfect time to execute on it. And I just hit the ground running.
Very good. Well, yeah, well done using your quarantine time well.
Thank you.
I would like to hear more about you as a filmmaker, as an individual, as your general process. I understand you have a company of people that you work with in Denver there.
Yeah.
What is the creative life in Denver like for you?
Sure. Well, first I'll just say that Denver is a really wonderful creative scene. There are lots of really high caliber ad agencies, creative boutique companies, and there's a growing production scene. And on top of that, we have a lot of great museums, Denver Art Museum, Museum of Contemporary Art, and gorgeous, ever changing and switching street art going on. We also have a very cool festival called Crush Walls that celebrates street art. You can walk around and watch artists doing their thing and painting in a neighborhood here in Denver. So it's just a great community to be a part of. And my personal work situation, I'm basically one half of a 2-person motion design team. It's called Ito and Jay. I'm the Jay, and my partner, his name is Dan Ito. We met at a larger company as motion designers, and a few years ago we split off to take on our own clients and go off on our own. It's been wonderful. We simply speaking, we handle end-to-end production for animated content, whether it's for a brand or a filmmaker, and we handle everything from helping the client write their script to all kinds of pre-visualization, pre-production, and all the actual design, illustration, and animation. And the range of clients we've had is very wide, which keeps things interesting and exciting. We've done, on the more corporate side, we've done internal videos for Visa. And on the wackier side, we did some content for the Westminster Dog Show a few years ago when it was broadcast by Fox Sports. So it was, like, here comes the Terrier group. And it would be a bunch of fun facts about each dog group narrated by a mix of celebrities, Martha Stewart, Joel McHale. So that was like the kind of a more off the wall fun end of the spectrum that we've gone to do. So it's been great. Yeah, I feel like this is a really up and coming creative town to be in, and I love it here.
Well, and now I know that you, if I understand correctly, went to Savannah College of Art and Design, School of Art and Design. What brought you from there to Denver? How did that happen?
Sure. Well, I guess to just like broaden the trajectory a little bit more, I was in New York first for my undergrad at NYU, and then I went to where I kind of experimented with film and art and writing, and I have always had this I've always wanted to blend things that don't necessarily, or things that I think go together but aren't as narrow as a lot of the tracks offered in school. So I did kind of a make your own major program at NYU where I had the chance to take film classes and art classes and kind of get exposed to a lot of different things. And then once after working for a couple years, I decided to go back to school at Savannah College of Art and Design, and I did a graduate program there called Motion Media Design. And so the link there between graduate and undergraduate was really both programs celebrating, mixing different techniques, mixed media approaches. The Motion Media Design program at SCAD celebrates all different kinds of styles, especially if there's a hand touch element, which I really enjoy working on, whereas the animation program is a little bit more, Pixar focused or 3D slick look. And I just loved the motion media program because you can, bring all these different things together, and it doesn't necessarily need to be strictly digital, and you can use more practical effects or handmade strategies or techniques. And then I came to Denver because I didn't want to go back to New York. I loved my time in New York. It was super inspiring and I love visiting, but I really wanted access to the outdoors and the mountains. And Denver is perfect for that because you do have the creative, rich cultural scene with all all the things you could want from a city, but also you can turn off your phone and go camping or skiing all weekend and not have any screen time. So I love having both of those things available.
Very good.
Yeah.
Sorry, one more follow-up question. I was intrigued by what you were saying just now about that you were interested in combining different techniques and seeing what worked. It
Yeah.
intrigues to know what the kind of pattern of success and failure of combining things might be. I mean, doing my bit of cooking that I do, sometimes putting ingredients together goes great, and sometimes I think we won't do that again.
Yes, yes, totally. I think, well, the joy really has to be in the process, right? I mean, even in the cooking adventures, maybe it didn't turn out the way you would have hoped, but I just believe in the act of experimentation. So I think the main point I just want to get at is that, you know, if you have an idea and you want to combine things that maybe no one has thought of before, go for it. And then if it's not a, you know, shining success, that is okay. Like there's, you know, value in just the act of trying things out.
Very good. Well, Julie, thank you for gracing us at our film festival. You enjoyed your film.
Great.
And
Thank you.
let us know if we can help you in any way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Hans.